No more struggling. After you watch this video, you will have all of the information that you need to succeed. I promise you. Let's go. What's up, guys? MtgJedi here. How you doing today? Big shout out to my dude Don. We were brainstorming some video ideas this morning, and he said a lot of newer players, and I think just based on requests I've gotten recently, a lot of mid-game, late-game, end-game players alike have been struggling on progressing in Hydra. So I'm gonna cover the tips that you need no matter where you're at in the game in order to succeed in this game mode. So let's start with the very foundations of your account, and that is going to be your Great Hall. Your Great Hall, not many players know that this Great Hall, these bonuses apply everywhere in the game. So your crit damage, your attack, your accuracy, all of this stuff, the foundation is right here. My firm belief is start with accuracy, go to crit damage, then resistance, then HP or attack, defense is last. And this is the structure for your whole account. In order to get this, you must have a decent arena team. Basically, the way it goes in Raid is your PvP, the arena game modes, help you against the bosses. The bosses help you against the arena. So if you want to get better at one of those, do the opposite, which makes no sense, but it does create this little loop of you need to do this in order to do that. So if you need to do better against Hydra, then you need to do some arena. Secondarily, which is probably the more important of the two, you need area bonuses in Hydra. I would say the minimum requirement here is ignore defense and speed. And then, honestly, I should probably, double down here. Like, I probably could get way more damage in Hydra if I worked on these area bonuses. So that's probably something that I should start to do again. I was focusing on faction wars, as you can see up here, but I don't really need to completely max out everything. And then, you know, some of the dungeons as well. I don't do live arena as much as I should, and I have these completed. So if you're doing your live arena, focus on ignore defense and speed as the main two. And that's going to dramatically help you improve your damage. No matter what team you're using, your affinity bonuses and your area bonuses are going to drastically help improve your damage. That is the foundation of doing better in Hydra. And then gauge where you're at. If you're working on normal Hydra, then yeah, a couple levels in each of these things, oh yeah, perfectly fine. If you're trying to push end game damage, then you're going to want to be having a good foundation with all of these, maxing it out, and that's going to dramatically help you. Well, we interrupt this regularly scheduled programming. I had to go check on my son. He fell down and hurt himself. Not sure, the mic probably muted that out, but just in case you hear him screaming, he's okay. And thing number 2, we have a new promo code. The promo codes are broken on my account. I still do not know why, but this should be a valid promo code. Trick or treat. Yes, okay. They don't work on my account, but I promise it will work for you. This is an official raid promo code, and I don't know why it doesn't work on my account. But I am going to message support again, telling them that it doesn't work, but it should work for you. Whoever tries it in the comments below, go ahead and put that down there so we can verify that. But yeah, that should be working for everyone. All right, so back to talking about our Hydra teams, okay? Now, those two things can just literally help you everywhere. Whatever area you're struggling with, you can put in area bonuses. But I highly recommend starting with Hydra area bonuses. What I really recommend is Faction Wars, Fire Knight, Hydra, and Curse City as the 4 areas to focus on. And the same thing in every area. Ignore defense and speed as the main 2, then crit damage, accuracy, resistance, HP, whatever. But ignore defense and speed are the main 2. Okay, so with that being said, we want to move on to other things that are going to help us as well, and that is going to be team construction. So let's talk about what is the best team construction outside of niche teams like the Titus Wixwell team or the Trunda teams. Those are 2 niche strategies that are top tier that you should build if you can. They're the best ones in the game. I can show you my best team as well. The Titus team, this is the one I use. It is not the best, but this one is the best team on my account. This is the world record team for Trunda. Basically, you're boosting her damage in a million different ways. But let's just talk about basic team construction. The very first thing that you want to consider when you're building a team is what revivers are on your account. When you are sorting them, you just come over to other effects and then revive, okay? And then you can see all of the revivers that are on your account. Some common ones that I always recommend would be White Queen, Molly. You can even use Arbiter. Sulfurion is OP. We use Pythion a lot. Glycade. I have most of the revivers that I would recommend on my account. Some other ones that you can use also would be Sifi is okay. Raka is decent. Elva, all good. Prava, Elva. What is your name? Kaja, all the Oz. Duchess. You can use this guy. He's not the best, but he's decent. I used Noelle the other day in a takeover. All of these revivers are great. Bellatar is not that great. As far as epic revivers go, you definitely can use them if you have to, but most of the time you're gonna have 3 legendary revivers on your account, and you want to start your team with one of them. I would say the best, most common one to start with is going to be Molly, but if you don't have Molly, then use somebody else. That makes sense too. The second thing that is essential is debuffs, block buffs. You must have a block buffs champion. And in order to succeed in Hydra, you have to do this. So like Supreme Gallic that a lot of people started with, insane champion. He not only brings the block buffs, he brings HP burn and decreased speed, which are both other really helpful things. If you want more damage, put HP burn in a team because it does a lot of damage in Hydra. So block buffs is essential. Most people go straight to Ugo for their block buffs champion. If you're going to run Packmaster and the dog, that's another great way. If you did the fusion for my dude Granite, that's just an upgraded version of Ugo. But there's a lot of block buffs champions at this point. You need somebody who does an AoE 100% block buffs. That's the essential part. It must be in the team. Next is going to be your provoker. One of the reasons why Molly is so good is because she fulfills the revive and the provoke. I think that there are so many great provokers. Most of the time, you're going to go with Vizix in one of your teams. If you have people like Krisk or Wixwell, those are great options also. I would say that provoking is one of the more difficult things to put in your team. It really is. We still need more good provokers, Plarium. Please, provokers, good ones. 2-turn provokes. I want a 2-turn provoke on a champion that does something good. Otherwise, you can settle for a 1-turn provoke. So let's say that we are going to be completely free to play with our suggestions here. Then we'll go Arbiter, Ugo, Vizix. Okay. Next thing that you're going to want in the team. Ideally, you have somebody for decreased speed and somebody for increased speed. But you can get away with, like, Arbiter, who has a turn meter boost instead of the increased speed. And like, she has the turn meter boost as well on the A4. Yeah. So you can get away with using Arbiter there. If you want to use somebody like White Queen, then she would also have in there your shield, which I'm going to recommend. And she also has a cleanse, which I'm going to recommend, and the turn meter boost and the revive. The problem is it is only a single target revive. And so oftentimes what happens is you need more survivability than that. So she is going to be a great option. But then all of these different pieces kind of change the other champions that you want to put in the team. So if I change her to Arbiter, then all of a sudden I need a shield champion in the team. I need a cleanser in the team. Okay. If I have White Queen there, then maybe I need somebody else to help me with survivability because she only has a single target revive. There are a lot of great ways in order to incorporate these things in here. The next thing I would recommend is your MtgJedi. MtgJedi not only helps with survivability because she's going to cleanse. She's going to remove your debuffs, which is very underrated. You're going to keep her in Form 1, and her passive really helps as well. And then the ally attack for damage. Then you're going to come and you're going to sort by faction under Shadowkin, and you're going to put another Shadowkin in here. Obviously, if you have Toshiro, he's going to go in. Michinaki's a great option, but then you don't really need Ugo. So you could go with Harima. I would say whoever you have in here, if there's somebody that makes sense, then do that. A lot of people are going to have Ninja, so he is kind of the default option. And then the last spot is just going to be damage. So then we'll have that damage from the ally attack and the Shadowkin. And you'll have the damage from probably an attack-based damage dealer. Your attack-based damage dealers are really going to help you out with strong damage here. I would say probably not that many people have Rathalos Blademaster at this point. So we're probably going to be looking to other champions. Like Thor, for example, is a very good damage dealer. The rabbit is a very good damage dealer. The cat. You could run any enemy max HP champions. This fusion is a great champion. Thalin, especially because he has the weaken to go along with your team. So you want to be filling in these gaps, and this is what a balanced team looks like. Now, if you have other better champions here, then you can include them also, obviously. Like Teox, crazy good champion. Obviously, the dogs, Packmaster and the dog. If you have damage boosting champions, that could be a good way to go. Feral, Glycade, any of those damage boosting champions are going to be good options as well. But this is the general breakdown for a team. Okay, now we want to get into, once you have your basic team set up, then how do you build on that and improve your damage from there? So how do you boost your damage once you have this structure set up on your account? The main way is by finding champions that do specific things. You want to take more turns. So for example, the gearing that we're going to talk about in a moment, upgrading that, making your champions faster, putting them in specific gear sets like Relentless and Protection and feral, all of these different ways to boost your damage, make you go faster, make you take extra turns. All of that stuff is important. But as far as the champions go, you want to find ways to get the most abilities in your team from specific champions. So, one way we do that is with a champion like Nikmo, right? A champion like Nikmo is going to do a lot of things for our team. Increase speed, decrease speed. Let's just look at his kit. Increase speed turn meter fill, decrease speed leech, AoE decrease attack, okay? And then he has this insane passive as well. Not only that, he has a speed aura for all battles. This champion gets your team moving so quickly, okay? Other champions that do this are the mythical Androck or Senna, which I would love either of those champions, okay? There's not that many of them. Another champion that does that is Estrid. And additionally, you want champions that kind of combo with each other. That's why the dog and the Teox are so good, because it just combos, okay? Another thing that's really important to get into your team that is really underrated is going to be Hex. And the reason why I say that is because one of the champions that's really helpful to put in your team is my dude Mad Hatter. He brings the turn meter fill, he has the weaken and the hex, and he has this ally attack with your strongest champion, and then the A1 is helpful as well. So putting him in a team where you're maybe having maybe you have Supreme Gallic in there, so he has that block buffs and HP burn, and then maybe in addition to that you have Lydia, okay, or another strong decreased defense champion. Really, it could be anyone for decreased defense in this spot. Maybe you're running Michelangelo, for example, as a decreased defense champion. Maybe you're running the Queen, who is, in my opinion, like the best decreased defense champion. So we're getting decreased defense and ally attack, right? So then we have these two ally attacks. We have this crazy turn meter boosting thing going on with all of these, right? And then maybe we're going to throw Molly in there, right? My Molly is +4 because she loves me. So maybe she's going to come in there as another turn meter booster from her passive, the Reviver, and also the Provoker, right? And then we put another strong damage dealer in there. Who would that be? I would say the new Fusion could easily go in that spot. You could put what is her name? Whisper. I was gonna say Wither. Could put Whisper in there. You could put basically anybody on your account who's gonna deal high damage. You have your Teox could go in there, Thalin again. You could go enemy max HP. You could go single target high damage. You could go a lot of different ways. Thor seems like a very good, obvious choice. Any of the ones that I've mentioned before. Underrated options would be Valkynin, but you do have the Hex. So let's say maybe you didn't have the Hex. Maybe you have Thalin and then Valkynin. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many iterations of ways that you can build upon your damage, but what you want to be thinking is, how can I take more turns? How can I combine multiple abilities from one champion? And how do I fit more damage dealers in there? Okay, one of the reasons why two of the best damage dealers in the game are like the two of the best revivers in the game is because they are also damage dealers. So that would be, where's my dude Sulfurion? I still have a filter here. That's why I can't find him. Sulfurion and my dude Lazarus. Okay. They are amazing because they are not only a reviver, they're also a damage dealer. I feel like I should mention Lamasu somewhere in this conversation. I don't want her to get overlooked or forgotten. This is a great way to improve your damage, is getting her in the team, because she has block buffs, decrease speed, which pairs really well with Lydia's decreased defense and weaken. In fact, let's build one more team around this idea. So maybe something like this, where we have the Mikage Harima synergy, we have the increased speed, decreased speed, block buffs between the two free champions. We have some kind of reviver. I picked Glycade, and then Valkynin in here, or somebody who can do maybe Hex and some damage. That could be a good combo. I picked Harima, so we would have the Provoke in here. And one thing that you're going to notice in most of my teams is that I am not paying a lot of attention to being feared. I'm not. It's one of the heads I try to ignore. If you want to fit, for example, Shamail, if you want to, if you want to fit Shamail into your team, then that would be a good option as well. He's going to auto cleanse and turn meter boost the leader, so that's another good option. Other than that, you can try to fit in your Veil champions or cleanser or both. Basically, I'm using Glycade and Mikage to sort of deal with the fears. And then I have my 2 damage dealers here in Harima and Valkynin. But these are the kinds of things that you want to be thinking about. And last but not least, let's wrap up with some stats. Okay, let's use Ugo as a template for our basic champions that are support based. Okay, not damage dealers. Damage dealers, you're going to build like nukers. Your basic champions, your goal should be approximately 250 speed and 350 accuracy. If you have area bonuses, like I'm suggesting earlier in the video, then you will also have additional stats, and that can lower the requirements needed here, but this is the basic layout. Once you're able to reach these stats, then you want to do the same thing, but put them in another gear set. For example, 4-piece Merciless is very good on champions to just improve some basic stats and decrease skill cooldowns. Additionally, we can run a Curse set or a Provoke set to help with both of those debuffs. You should be farming Ice Golem, okay? I know you don't want to, but farming Ice Golem is really going to help you. Keep this gear, it will help, okay? And another gear set that is always a go-to is going to be Relentless, okay? If you can build your champions in Relentless, they will get extra turns, they will cycle through their abilities, and it's the most common gear set that's good that people will have. On the last takeover I did, I built like 10 champions in Relentless, okay? Not joking. You can go watch the footage if you want. As far as damage dealers, let me show you the basic structure for the damage dealers as well. Okay, here's a good example of a bad champion. Okay, and what I mean by that is, let's say you're struggling on gear that ignores defense, because that's going to be your main go-to. Like, you want lethal gear, right? You want savage gear, okay? And you want merciless gear, okay? All of those are your 3 main damage ignoring sets. Partial shout out to Instinct as well if you have that. And Cruel, okay? But if you don't have any of those, then you just want to go for the stats that you're looking for. And that is as high of an attack as you can get. We got the 99 special, should be 100. And 250. 6k attack, 250 crit damage is just a general template of a reasonable damage dealer. If you have to do 5,000 or whatever, that's fine too. But then your speed is really important too. You can't be running 170, 150 speed on most damage dealers. You have to get some speed on there, preferably more than that. And then here's what it would look like on a little bit more advanced gear than that. So I'm going to use Cupidus as my example here. If you can get blessings on these champions, that's going to help with damage as well. You only take Crushing Rend if it's 6 stars. Otherwise, you're going to be taking, most of the time, Heaven Cast. If they do debuffs, then you're going to be taking Nature's Wrath, but then you need to make sure you have accuracy on them. Okay, so I have way more than enough accuracy here for other stuff that I need him for. But again, 350 is the minimum accuracy. I have 250 speed again, like I mentioned, is important. 6100 attack, 300 crit damage, and most importantly, we're in a damage ignoring set. Slayer is a good set if they have AoE attacks. Otherwise, no, don't do Slayer. Okay, so that is a good example. And last but not least, I'm just going to mention, if you're running Rathalos Blademaster, you don't need damage ignoring sets. You want extra turns, okay? So, like, Mikey may be another good example. He's a little bit slow here. 190 speed, but really good stats, okay? You can run the turtles a little bit slower because they're all going to join in the attacks together. Donatello, you want to run fast, but Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, you can run a little bit slower if you're fitting those in your team. Michelangelo, you want Nature's Wrath on, and you want the Coronet. The relics can really help you as well. At minimum, you should be running something like a Talon on people. Let's go see what I have equipped. Wands for days. Journal to help the turn meter boosters. And the Coronet on any damage dealer that is going to be bringing debuffs. And the Talon on just generic, I want more stats. And if you have Cat's Gazes, don't come after me. I'm sorry I have 5, but I have 5, okay? But Cat's Gaze is another great damage ignoring relic to use as well. So that'll do it for me here today. What do you think of this Hydra breakdown on how to improve your Hydra? I hope there was something here for everyone. Let me know what I missed in the comments below. And don't forget to come over and do your little promo code today, okay? Put it in there, trick or treat, and I'm going to go message support that my promo code's not working again. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.